Welcome back to the Football Terrace, everybody. Welcome back. This is Six-Sided. It's the international break. We've got some amazing debates. We've got some amazing talking points to go through with you all this evening as well. Is Arne Slot on the brink of being sacked after a leading Merseyside-based journalist has revealed the list of potential candidates should he go? We're going to be delving into that. Plus, we're looking at Arsenal. Are they going to continue to grow a lead in the Premier League over their rivals? And should a new deal for Mikel Arteta be done before the end of the season, or should they wait? We're going into that with your fiction or fact questions you sent in to me. Plus, Man United loan move in January for João Gomes. How good a move could that be for United European prospects? Plus, we've got a big Chelsea question today, and I'm not letting any of you know what it is. Even the panel don't know what it is, and we'll be bringing it up on the screen a little bit later. We've got Tom Little in the house tonight, fresh from his Liverpool civil war on Tuesday night. I haven't got around to watching that yet, but I am going to watch it because I was on with Monts just before he went live over there. Kwess is back with us today. Welcome back to the show, brother. We've got two Newcastle fans in the house. So if you fancy burgling somewhere tonight, go around the Newcastle because they're only a small fan base and two of their fans are here. So lots of empty houses to go and ransack. That's a joke in case anyone wants to sue me. And Cal's back with us after traveling across Japan for the better part of a month. He's actually decided to grace us with his presence. He didn't ask for time off, but there we go. It's okay. How are we, gentlemen? We all good and well?
All good, man.
Yep, definitely.
Good. Yeah, wow. Yeah, and we're going to get into a lot of that. And look, if you're watching over on X, by the way, or formerly known as Twitter, you can come and join us right here on YouTube. You can come and join the community by clicking the link in the post. That'd be great. We want to see you in the comment section. We want to see you getting involved. If not, and you're going to stay on X, that's absolutely fine. Please give it a like. Please give it a retweet. That would be amazing. We're going to jump straight into this, and we're going to go in with Liverpool first of all, as some really interesting news has come out today. And I'll read the news first before we ask the question. It was in front of me, and now it seems to have disappeared. This comes from Lewis Steele, a Merseyside man who works for the Mail. It said that when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool, the club considered Sebastián Hoeneß, Roberto De Zerbi, Valverde, and Giuliano. I nearly always want to say Spaghetti, but it's Spalletti. It says that they're in the mix if Arne Slot loses his job. That's the caliber, Tom. And by the way, I saw this tweet because of you. You quote tweeted this today. That's why I saw it, right? So the fictional fact question that we have that is connected to this, and we're going to start with Tom to begin with, and it's now not loading up in front of me, is fiction or fact, replacing Arne Slot with Hoeneß, De Zerbi, Valverde, or Spalletti would be a step backwards for Liverpool?
Yes, fact. How loud can I say this fact? That we are talking about, Arne Slot's not being good. I'm still Arne Slot. Arne Slot's not being faultless at all this season. But let's look at the caliber.
Did you nearly say Arne Slot till I die? You nearly said Arne Slot till I die there, right? I thought you did. I'm slotty till I die. I'm slotty till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm slotty till I die.
Well, he did with me a league title, didn't he? But we've got to look at the state of that, because there was one other name on that short list as well, Michel at Girona, who's been battling relegation for 2 years. Battling relegation with Girona for 2 years. Spalletti, the most hot and cold manager you've ever seen. Roberto De Zerbi. Oh my God, don't get me started on him. He's the biggest. He doesn't get on with anyone. He does not get on with anyone. Every other week, he tries to fight another player of his. That's not going to work. Sebastián Hoeneß, really decent at Stuttgart. Yeah, brilliant project manager. You're asking an awful lot of him to step up from Stuttgart to Liverpool here, especially with the change in standards, because this is something everyone seems to forget now with Liverpool Football Club. We spent 400 million quid in the summer. I can't sit there and realistically give a manager much time and go, oh, it's okay, you've got 3 years to build your project here. Don't worry about that. That's not happening. I need a manager who I know who's got a bit of pedigree now, because we're not dealing with the fall off from Jurgen Klopp and the wonderful little situation we've been in then. The state of that shortlist is utter garbage. It's utter garbage. If that's what we're looking at to replace Arne Slot, let's not. The type of manager we should be looking at to replace Arne Slot is your Nagelsmanns of this world, is your Inzaghi's of this world. And that's only if it gets untenable for them, because I'd back Arne Slot over every single one of them names mentioned. Every single one of them. That list is utter garbage. Could you imagine De Zerbi with my squad? Could you imagine the state of them players? They messed up Valverde.
See, Tom, this is always my kind of point to a lot of football fans who want their manager sacked. And we do this a lot on the Football Terrace when they go, he's got to go. You know, we did this for David, right? Big up David, Straight Facts member, part of the community here. Got to get rid of the manager. Got to get rid of the manager. Got to get rid of the manager. The comments again. Yeah. Who would you bring in? I'd bring back Mourinho. Oh, shit. Suddenly everyone's like, no, we're not on David's side, right? The solution is key. The solution, we've got to normalize solutions. And this is like, I'm seeing you react to this, Tom. It's this element of, okay, maybe we sack him. But surely seeing the list of candidates should be there maybe before people make their minds up. Because I don't know about the rest of the panel. There's not really a name on there that I look at and go, that's a guarantee of a step back for Liverpool.
I agree, but I think quickly, it might be worth pointing out that Arne Slot a year from now was probably, before like the season he's had, you'd probably argue was probably in that same sort of realm. Like, I don't remember many people when Klopp said he was leaving all go, Arne Slot, that's the guy. A few people might have, but again, I would have said a lot of people would have agreed and put Arne Slot in this sort of caliber of manager at the same time. Now, obviously,
don't disagree,
but that would be my
Arne Slot still won his league though.
That ultimately that's the problem. That's reared its head for Liverpool now. So I don't disagree. In fact, I agree with you. Arne Slot was probably in that same caliber of managers when he was appointed. But Liverpool were in a situation when he was appointed where there was lower expectations going into last season. No one predicted us to win a league title. We spent no money. It was a case of our plan was 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line. What's happened in the past 18 months has changed that plan very quickly and has changed expectations very quickly. And as a result, what was afforded to Arne Slot in terms of the time and in terms of the structure and everything fitted a manager of that caliber. Right now, that can't be afforded to a manager of that caliber. If the comes in who's got no pedigree of winning trophies, and we're sitting there trying to convince these 100 million quid players that we bought, or trying to financially sort of lay out these 100 million quid players that we bought to match their ambitions, we've got a manager who needs 3 years to learn on the job how to win. It doesn't line up.
See, I would agree that replacing Arne Slot at this point. Sorry, Ash, just 2 seconds. I agree that replacing Arne Slot now would probably be a mistake, but not because of the caliber of manager that's out there that you're suggesting, but more that I think this year, given the money that's been spent, I think Arne Slot has tried to transition from what Klopp's team was doing. He's trying to transition what he was doing with Klopp's team into what he's trying to do with what he wants to do. And I think he's taking a too big of a jump. And right now you're in the right now you've not really got a system that fully matches all of what the players' strengths are. But at the same time, it's also on the players. Also, players haven't stepped up into doing what he wants them to do. So you're in this weird sort of grey zone of it is a bit of Slot's fault. It is a bit of the players' fault. And I think if you then get rid of the manager and bring in another manager, you risk then, I've just now spent 450 million pounds on players I don't know where they sort of fit. And then you may even end up getting into like a weird Manchester United situation where you've got players that really fit one system, and then the new manager comes in. Okay, now I need to buy XYZ to come in, and then then you sort of have this sort of Frankenstein situation with the squad. So I agree with the statement that replacing Arne Slot now would probably be a step back, but not because of the caliber of manager put forward as replacements, but more because of where Liverpool are in general at this point in time.
What are you saying? As a comment here, I want to respond to for a second. Not this one here. This says a Slot can't be sacked 5 months after winning the league, and Arteta 7 seasons deep without winning it. I'm going to disagree with this, though. There is a world where you can. I'm going to paint you a scenario where it can happen. if the dressing room is losing faith in Slot, if Slot isn't delivering what he promised to the board and they feel it's going to continue to crumble, versus a manager that the club and the players believe is going to get them over the line, because trajectory is important irrespective of what's happened before. If I'm working for a company in 3 or 4 years running, I've done the biggest sales that they've ever had in their history. But as we go into the next year, I'm committing gross misconduct. I'm ruining situations with clients. I'm losing the money. They can and will still sack me, even if somebody else at the company has never hit my numbers. So yes, it absolutely can happen. I'm not saying it will, but the idea that it's illogical is not how high level performance is. But I want to respond here to Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. He says it's not our job to find a manager. But listen, what I want to say this to you is this, though. It's a personal response. This is. It's funny that you say that, because it's not your job to decide how YouTubers title their videos or what content they make. But that never stops you giving an opinion or a solution on how to make YouTube videos better. So my advice to you is, my friend, if you don't like and don't think you should provide solutions, stop telling people what they should do and how they should do it yourself, my old pedigree chum. Good night, Vienna. That's
on the back end of that, they've said, can you pull up 2 seconds quickly? Sorry, Terry. They've just said that it's not our job to find the manager, but there are so many managers better. That statement alone implies
that implies you found them, by the way.
Yeah.
That implies this is the thing I love about it. And I love about when you ask these questions and they go, it's not my job to identify the manager. It's also not, you can't sit there then and have your cake and eat it. You can't sit there and go, the manager's crap, the manager's this, the manager's that, but I don't have a solution for it.
The only reason
then I'll question why you're believing that he's a problem, because if you don't have a solution, you can't identify the problem.
The only reason people don't want to give their solution is because they might lose the support they feel they're gaining through having the initial opinion. Loads of people can find problems in every walk of life. We can all find problems. We can all sit there in the pub or around a family member's house and go, oh, we've got to do something about unemployment, or we've got to do something about the drains at the end of the road that are overflowing. It's when people go, how are we going to fix it? Oh, I don't know. I'm just someone in life. I don't moan about things that I don't have an idea of how to fix. I'm just not like that. But people on YouTube now, they don't like providing solutions because they're scared their solution will get laughed at. So they go, that ain't my job. Well, my view is, and it's just a personal opinion, if you don't want to give an idea of a solution, you shouldn't be moaning about the problem in the first place. That's my view, especially when it comes to things like football. So listen, it's up to you. This here is actually a comment from X. This is from RJRE that says Slots has been found out. Came in last season and won the league with a Klopp team and system, and then he slowly changed that over time and been found out by Slot. What do you make of this question? Do you think Slot's been found out? Do you think he's on his way? Do you think he's gonna be sacked?
I don't know if he's been found out. I mean, I feel like most managers that take over in those sort of circumstances always struggle. Like I think of Moyes taking over after Sir Alex Ferguson left. Like you follow up from someone super successful, you're always going to find it harder. For me, the only thing with Slot is I just don't like the way that he's handled himself in this, and that's what worries me more. Do I think he'll get a tune out of the squad eventually? Yes. Do I think he'll ever have Liverpool dominant and competitive like he did in his first season again? No, I actually don't think he will. I think with the squad he has now, it's going to take like maybe two more seasons to fully transition all the people that are Klopp's boys out to build his team with his ideas, playing his way. So I don't think it's going to work, because I think by that time you're going to have Arsenal still going to be there. City will probably be back in it. Chelsea be in and around it. By a miracle, Thomas Frank might have built something worth, going out to sea for. So there's all these different teams that that's why I said maybe, right? So I don't.
Amarim. I know Jimmy. Floyd. I know Jimmy Floyd said there's been zero improvement, but I think there has. But we might be cooking by then. Yeah.
Jimmy, chill out, bro. Yeah, man. But no, like even Amarim, like from start of the season, I've put Man United fourth. Like I don't think it's crazy that can happen. Do you know what I mean? So there's lots of managers that could find their way up there, and I just think I think the job he's got is actually a lot bigger than you think it is, because Klopp was the darling. Like, so it's always going to be harder. And then on top of that, when you spend that much money with that much expectation and pressure, your job is always twice as hard. And I would agree with Tom to a sense. Like, I do think some of the players that you would have thought you could have relied on have let him down. I do. Like I said from summer, that's why I was so happy to see Tom again. I remember saying in the summer, bro, I love you. I told you about Van Dijk and Salah. I said they're cooked. They're finished. I said they're sauteed.
Let's not get into
Van Dizzy, Van Twerk and that. No, but listen, no disrespect to them. But at the same time, it's true. They've let Slot down. And then these new signings that have come in haven't got up to speed quick enough in order for him to survive. So I think it looks worse. It looks like he's being found out when there's actually loads of like things to it. I think.
If I'm looking at the individuals that I need to blame this season, I'm not necessarily looking at Van Dijk and Salah. I'm looking at Van Dijk's partner for one. Because if you're looking at anyone in that defense who's a problem,
Canate's definitely had a howler.
I'm not saying Van Dijk's not being faultless, but when I look at the losses that we've had, and when I look at the really bad performances that we've had, there is a consistent theme of managers identifying one of our defenders, namely a certain French centre-back who believes he's going to play for Real Madrid, and exploiting either his inability to win duels against a tall striker, i.e. Crystal Palace, or his inability to pass the ball, i.e. Burnley or Manchester City, and Liverpool running into problems that way. Now, maybe we can look then at the club and go, yes, Canate's not performing well, and he's got these problems in his game. But why didn't you get that solution? You had that solution, but you didn't push it too quick enough in Mark Gahey. That could be on the club. And I look at that there, and I go, well, maybe the guys upstairs should have made that move quicker on Mark Gahey. The one guy I'm not actually looking at in that situation and going, I'm blaming you for that. It's the manager. The manager's not telling Ibrahim and Konate, by the way, lads, you're up against Mateta today. And the way we're going to win this game is by penning Crystal Palace in, and that involves us stopping them from winning the flick-ons on long balls. So what I need you to do today, especially in the first half, is win 0 of 8 aerial duels against him. That'll be really good for us. We'll benefit so much from that. So that's where I've got a lot of sympathy for the manager, because a lot of it has been individual errors, which I think just get thrown on the manager for no reason. Konate's not performing, but he's not putting Konate in positions that he wasn't putting him in last season. That's the thing that gets me.
Do you know
These
what?
players that aren't performing well aren't being asked to do different things.
I can agree, but then there's some things I do think he's very culpable for. Like for me, I think who was the game where he brought off Bradley half time and
it's been a couple of times.
For me, that's a disrespect.
Crystal Palace was that one, but it worked for us. We were off better in the second half.
If you have a right back here, you for me, like unless they're getting so badly cooked that everyone is now like booing the player, you give that person time to figure it out. Put in your centre mid at right back because he can do it. To me, that's where I'm looking at Slot and going, I don't think you're a silly guy. But it worked in that game. But but just because it works once doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. You can't. Do you know what I mean?
But it does mean it's the right thing to do, because if in the game, Liverpool,
so if it works once, it's automatically always the right thing to do.
No, because he's not done it on a consistent basis.
I feel like I've seen Soboslai play there like 3 or 4 times this season.
Yes,
minimum.
He's played there 3 or 4 times, but he's not come off the bench. He's not moved there because Bradley's gone off at half time. The first 2 times he done it was because Bradley was injured. Then he done it against Crystal Palace.
Okay, yeah.
Because first 3 times he did it. Chelsea was a kid, yes, but Bradley was really struggling that game. He got a booking against Garnacho. Garnacho was driving that in 1v1, and we didn't have Jeremy Frimpong on the bench. That's the other one. Frimpong's been injured a lot this year, so if we need to take Bradley out the game, it has to be Soboslai to go there because we haven't got another one.
Okay, now you know what, Fez?
I personally think Slot's a little bit on fraud watch at the moment. I do think there's a lot of player blaming, which is fine, but the big Hussam, which I disagree with a lot, but he's right. When everyone's playing like shit, you have to look at the manager a bit more. And I think no one really talks about what actually happened last season, and in terms of the context of Slot winning. I mean, yes, he won the league, which is something fantastic, but let's be 100% honest here. This is when he was making very small tweaks to a team that's, has always challenged. And he's also had, Salah had one of the best seasons in Premier League history. Like, you can't just push that to the side, because that's the context of, Liverpool winning the league. So now Salah's not having that sort of season, and the system's completely changed because he's changed it. They look like crap. I mean, the whole notion of is Slot getting things? Did he get found out this season? I don't think he figured anything out this season. There was nothing to find. You know, it's not like he's playing the exact same system.
You've contradicted yourself, though, Cal. You've just said that it's the manager's fault, and then also said like Salah had the best season of his life last season, and now he's not.
Yeah, I said that.
So surely that would then mean it's also Salah's fault and players' fault. It's not just down to managers. Like if Salah's not performing, I didn't
say it was 100% Slot's fault.
No, you did. We all heard you, bro. We all heard you. You said 100% Slot.
I'm just pushing back because no one really there were a lot of people talking about players a lot, and I'm just trying to bring it back onto the manager because I do think he has a big part to play as to why things happened the way they happened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying
they've not had a settled squad, though.
Yeah, exactly.
They've not had a settled starting 11 though. Let's be honest.
Which is his fault.
Yeah, because
which is his fault.
Yeah,
and I know
it's not his fault though. I'm sorry. The settled squad thing isn't his fault. We had a lot of overhaul in the summer in terms of a lot of players switching and going. And one thing that I've heard all this time is Arne Slot shouldn't have thrown in so many new players at once. I then ask you, first game of the season, he's got no right back fit bar the new signing. He's got no left back fit bar the new signing. He's got no other strikers bar new signings. And he's got no other midfielders bar Florian Wirtz because McAllister was out injured and Curtis Jones wasn't 100% fit. So at the start of the season, he was kind of forced into putting all these guys in to the starting 11. And when he could do, he started taking them out of the game. But Jeremy Frimpong has missed 2 months of the season already through injury. The striker situation, he's always going to be forced to play a new guy because we lost all three of them and brought in two new ones. And ironically, the only position that he's really had a chance with, and I think he's got wrong, is left back. Because Robertson got fit quite quickly and he didn't take Kerkers out quick enough. But the rest of it, I think he's been a bit forced. And I think there's a lot of... Sorry, I'll let you go after this, Kwess. But I think there's been a lot of rewriting of what Arne Slot did last year. Because I think that last year, he inherited the exact same squad Jurgen Klopp had the year before, which finished third, and everyone assumed last year it wasn't good enough to win a title. No one last year predicted us to win a league title, and he came in and done.
I said you'd been around the title race, which got laughed at to be so. But yeah, winning it, no. But what I also remember is people talking about how Slot lost his mojo, and that didn't help the team win. So therefore, Slot's at least got to be good enough to motivate, structure the team to get their mojo back. Because if Klopp losing energy made you guys have an off season, Slot has to at least be credited for getting that squad playing well. Because isn't that what a manager's job is to? Again, and this is what I mean, right? This is why football fans annoy me, right? Because I think sometimes I'm not accusing any of you five, but there is this. Amarim's being told it doesn't matter what he inherited. He's got to improve. He's got to improve and make Man United better. Slot took over a team that underachieved, improved them, made them win, and now because he's struggling, that weren't even his team. It was all Klopp. He doesn't really deserve credit. And I just look at those two stances on management and think they're very contradictory of one another. I wouldn't take it away from him. I agree that he deserves blame. I think players deserve blame. But I look at it this way. I looked at what Jamie Carragher said. If it's true that between the board and the manager, they decided to play sexier football and it's gone wrong, I would look at Edwards and Hughes more than the manager. Because my view is this. If KJ comes to me and says, Terry got a great idea and it will see more people watch our shows, we'll get better engagement, we'll get better footballing conversations, and it will do X, Y, and Z for the Football Terrace. And I go, I sign off on it and it flops. KJ is going to be for the high jump, but it's still on me. I signed off on it. And I think we do this as football fans. All of us do it. We pick and choose when we want to praise or criticize our board. Throughout the summer, if you have a bad summer, that board, they've let our manager down. Newcastle fans did it all summer. They've let Eddie down, let Eddie down, let Eddie down. Now I'm hearing Newcastle fans want Eddie sacked. I'm saying, hang on. How could we let down all summer, but now be the reason to go? Man United fans, every summer, Glazers, Glinios. Whistle goes, I can't whistle, but whistle goes for the first game. We make something messes up. Amram's got to go, man. Look what they gave him. Look, how is he not making us win the league? He's got to go. Football fans sometimes are radio rental, mate. Radio rental. But viewers, look, I want to go to a few super chats here. This here from Ray. Ray says, let me ask Tom a question. Did Slot win the title too early with Liverpool before he'd done his transition? Ooh.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I don't think anyone expected what was going to happen this summer, and I only think this summer happened because of what he achieved last season. I think it's just a number of things happening at once which haven't meshed well, which have caused this situation to unfold. The manager, like I said, the manager's not faultless. The players deserve blame, and I think some of them are getting off very easily. The board, as you've said, probably deserves some blame for the recruitment. But I don't, again, it's coming back to the question. When you're sitting there going, we need to get rid of the manager, and I go, okay, disagree, but what are the options? And I'm being told the club's looking at Roberto De Zerbi, Michel, and Ernesto Valverde. I'm sitting there going, I will stick with the devil. I don't know.
Do you remember what K-Mac said on Sunday? K-Mac said, I love you, K-Mac, right? But he literally said, who would you bring in? Who would you bring in to replace him? He's got to go. Who do you bring in? He went, I'll go for Mancini.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the thing, right? So it's like, how serious will I take it? This here says, just wanted to say that Terry is the GOAT. Keep up the great work. Look, Valentine, listen, appreciate you saying that. Obviously, it's personal preference, right? I don't necessarily think I am the GOAT, but thank you very much indeed, and I appreciate the super chat. Ramazan here says a difference is Arteta was handed the keys to a Honda and turned it into a Porsche. Slot was handed the keys to a Porsche and is now looking like a Yogo.
But when Arne Slot inherited that squad, no one said it was a Porsche. Everyone was going, Salah's going to be washed. Van Dijk's going to be washed. Trent's not going to play well because he's going to want to go. The midfield's crap.
I mean, to be honest, Tom, I disagree with that, because just because football fans talk shit doesn't mean that the squad wasn't fucking fantastic. Like anyone who knows ball knew that Van Dijk and Salah are like world-class players, and Trent. Like because
where were these predictions? I saw pundit, and I'm not going to say fans here because I understand what this whole thing's like, but I saw a number of pundits last year put Manchester United above Liverpool. I saw a number of pundits put Chelsea above Liverpool, and I saw a number of pundits put Tottenham above Liverpool. There were people predicting us to finish as low as 6th and get Europa League football.
I do agree. Viewers, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions in the comments section below. Now, this is one of the curveballs on the show, and I'm going to go to Kwess first with this one. Okay. Wow. It's a curveball. And the question, you've got to answer the question in the context of which I give it to you, all of you. Okay. So it is this. It's metaphor. I need to do this because of my haters. This is a metaphorical question. I would never actually do this to Kwess or any of my panelists. But gun to your head, all right, okay. You must sell one of them. Which one are you selling, gun to your head?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Come on, this is an obvious one.
This feels fairly simple.
All four.
To Newcastle, yeah, I agree.
I mean,
do you want me to be honest? Or do you want me to lie?
No, I want you to be honest. If right now,
be honest.
Someone's got a sawn off up against your head, and you've got to press the button for one of them to be sold. Which one are you selling?
Palmer.
No.
That's crazy. That was the last
dude.
one.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right, hang on.
I'll be honest with you, because I've actually thought about this for like the last two-ish seasons, right? After the Poch season, I thought the thing with Palmer is that yes, he's world class. Yeah, for me, he's world class, exceptional, like wonderful talent, right? But the problem you can have with a player like that is if you try to focus all your football through him and he's not able to maintain it, what you end up doing is sacrificing the quality of the squad for the sake of one player. So that's the logic behind going, if Chelsea were to pin everything on Palmer, which I don't actually think we have. I think Maresca's always said we're better with him, but he's always maintained that the squad needs to be good. I think you could run into trouble far quicker selling a player keeping a player where you pin all your hopes on him. For me, Caicedo is a player you can't get rid of because you need a player like that in midfield to hold down. Like you just do. History will tell you squads have always had a Caicedo type player, whether he's looked like him or played like him, right? Esteval, for me, is not a talent that you sell now because you're not going to get the value you paid for him. So if we choose to sell Esteval now, no one's giving us 60 mil. And then for me, Reece James, club captain academy, very competent, very hard to find a player of that quality in your squad. I mean, in football in general, who can do what he does.
And always injured.
I always knew they'd just be. Thanks, Ash. What a quality.
Am I wrong?
Piece of information. Do you know how many games he's played? I'm not even going to let us go off because you're wrong. We're just going to stay with what
this is like one of the first seasons where he hasn't been like super.
Thank you, Cal.
Only like 10 games into it.
Thank you,
but that's
Ash, for that irrelevant piece of information.
No, but that's the problem. That's the problem, though. Like just because he's having an injury-free season so far doesn't mean he's not just going to drop like he usually does and not be around. You know, and also picking Palmer over Esteval is like, yeah, Esteval is the new toy, but like Palmer is like probably in the top 3 10s in the world. You're not gonna get another Palmer. Like, that's not gonna happen.
No.
Reece James is 26 next month.
Like if Esteval turns out to be Palmer, like equal to Palmer in quality, that's like absolutely turns out that's one of the best case scenarios. But you already have Palmer in your team. Like,
right, but my logic for selling Palmer is nothing to do with whether I think Esteval will be good or not. The point is, if there's a gun to my head and I have to sell one, I wouldn't sell Esteval now because you're not getting back the value. Whereas right now, we're playing without Palmer. And we are third in the league. So for me, I'm not saying that I don't want Palmer in my squad. If you give me the option of having Palmer or not having Palmer, I'm taking Palmer. But if I have to sell one of those 4 players right now, the obvious thing for me to do is to go, I'm not going to bank on Palmer. I'm going to bank on those 3 who can improve the overall quality of my squad. That's the logic for why I would sell him. You lot are going to have your own opinions. Please do. But please do that without trying to say, Kwess is so stupid for saying Palmer because he's so good. Because then when I say it, or Chelsea fans say it, you go on a campaign and build out these newspaper narratives about why he's so bad because he didn't score for 6 months. Right? And then he goes and proves you wrong in the World Cup, but the Mickey Mouse trophy. So I'm not doing this with you lot today.
Sam's not, dude, he really rattled you guys. Sam really did a number on you guys.
I'm not doing this for you lot, man. I get why it's crazy for people to be like, why would you sell Palmer? I get it. I just think logically, in terms of a squad, for me, it's easier to say, all right, sell Palmer now, 125, whatever million, you recoup that. Cool. You can build something. But if you keep him and you try to funnel everything through him, and he goes cold, no pun intended, it could be a more sticky situation in my eyes.
Baz here, he called you Kwess, but it's because it might be the way I say it. It's Kwess, as in Kwess. It's probably my accent, Kwess. It says Kwess is talking sense, not being a toaster person thinking the obvious.
Thank you, Baz.
Listen, I will say this, right? I wouldn't have picked Palmer. But I don't think what you've said is illogical. The only pushback I've got, I know he didn't score for 6 months. I weren't one of those guys. Is what the previous comment up there said from Tevin. He's kind of a 50 GA a season player, and output is such a hard thing. And the one thing you're gambling on, if we take Chelsea, if we're doing this seriously, is Esteval getting to that level and somebody else in your front line picking up those numbers. So I suppose if you think that between Garnacho, João Pedro, Delap, what was it? They do it in the aggregate. Between them, they pick those numbers up. Then I get where you're coming from. The one that stood out to me, I don't know about the rest of you, the one that I just straight away went to, it was Esteval because he's potential. Does that make sense? And you've got a gun to your head, you've got to pick one. I look at Reece James, I think he's amazing. You can't get rid of Caicedo. Palmer, for me, is as close to a guarantee for loads of output as possible. Esteval's brilliant, and you might end up regretting it in 4, 5, 6 years' time.
Yeah.
But in the here and now, I'd have probably gone with Esteval. Anyone got anything different to that on the panel?
I'm going Reece James. I'm not downplaying how incredible a footballer Reece James is. But in Caicedo, I've got guarantees. Caicedo is the one that I think everyone should have top of that list. He is a top 3 DM in the world. and no team is successful without a top DM. So he's untouchable. Esteban, I think, yes, partly because you're not going to. I think you will probably get your value back because another team will bank on the potential of what you paid for him. But it's a case of this lad is very exciting to watch. He's performing in competitions, performing against teams, performing in moments where it's needed the most at such a young age, with so much ceiling left to make up. And with Cole Palmer, yes, the last, I'd say, 8, 9, 10 months haven't been great. But what I saw in that first season, what the quality I know that he has, the quality that he's shown in big games for club and country that he's played in, that's an intangible I don't think you can lose. Reece James is an incredible footballer, but he can't showcase he's an incredible footballer if he's not on the pitch on a consistent basis. And yes, he's performing well this season, and yes, he's been injury free this season, Kwess. But I literally just looked it up then. 19-20, 18 games missed through injury. 2020, 2021, his best season, 9 games missed through injury. 21, 22, 20 games missed through injury. 22, 23, 30 games missed through injury. 23, 24, 42 games missed through injury. 24, 25, just last season, 26 games missed through injury. He's an incredible footballer, no doubt about it. And you probably can't buy a right back who has all the skill set that he has. But if you can buy a right back that is maybe a level below, but you can guarantee make it through a season.
We have that already.
I think Malo Gusto's further than just one level below Reece James. I think we're talking about, for me, when I'm talking about the level below Reece James, I'm talking about your Livramentos of this world. Like the fullbacks that are almost ready to jump
close
up.
to Reece James.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm trying my hardest not to be argumentative here.
Closer than Malo Gusto, that's for sure.
I think Tino Livramento is closest to Reece James than Malo Gusto is.
You know that Livramento was behind Reece James, right? And Livramento was saying, if you don't give me the contract, I'm gonna go. And they said, right, go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go. Yeah, but where did he end up first? Where did he end up first? Where did he end up first? Let's not talk about now you see him at exactly.
But that's irrelevant because we're not talking. I'm being asked this question on now, though. I'm being asked this question on now.
But we're not. You lot are talking about like as if Lino like. When was he last in the England squad? When was he last like the reason why Newcastle weren't shipping goals? When was the last time that he was the reason Newcastle was solid at the back? I'm not dissing him. I've watched him come through the academy, right?
14
I'm not dissing him, right?
14.
Is our best defender. Tino Livramento is our best defender.
I mean, City were on their knees for a reason.
Better than Dan Burnham.
He's the best.
I just think you're losing so much for me personally selling James, because you're talking about captain, leader, quality player across 3-4 positions.
This is the best time. This is actually the best time to sell James. This is actually the best time to sell.
I don't doubt that, but as I'm sure Carl's going to tell you, the best ability in football is availability, and I understand
he's available now. Look, we got to stop doing this.
So sell him.
We got to stop doing this. He's available now. Let's not talk about his history. So
with Livramento, you want to talk about his history from when he left in 2020.
No, because listen,
but now with Reece James, you can't talk about his history.
If you're going back 4 seasons, no, because what I'm trying to tell you is you're talking about those 4 options. Those 4 options. If we're going back 4 seasons, where was Palmer? If we're going back 4 seasons, was Esteval even playing first team football? So let's not talk about what they were doing before. This is going to your head now. What are they doing this season? Reece James is fit and playing football. So why are we talking about his injury record? Let's talk about what he actually brings to the team.
He is now, but can you guarantee me?
It's too easy to discredit Reece James for his injury record when the guy is playing for England and he's playing for Chelsea.
No one is taking away from his ability.
Right, but that's the reason why I wouldn't sell. You're talking about you're selling because he's not fit.
Yes, because this question to me is done on the basis of you're getting rid of one of them, and then how are the next 3 years going? I can't guarantee that Reece James is fit enough to have the impact that I would want for 3 years compared to Palmer.
Just tell me you don't know, like you don't know my club. Like all season, Maresca's been talking about how much of a good job
him fit last season, then?
Him and the medical department have done to give James what he hasn't had before, which is to protect him and allow him to play. So he is actually playing, and he is doing such a good job of keeping himself fit because everyone's working to do it, right? So these injury things are things that are hypotheticals anyway, because he might not even go on to have another one of those 23, 24 seasons or whatever you're talking about. And then what happens? What happens if he plays 45 games or 50 games this season?
For 4 seasons straight, Kwess, he missed 20 games to injury. As good as he is, as good as this medical team is that were there last year and still had him injured for 26 games, but as good as everything is, it doesn't matter because the history of Reece James shows me that the man can't stay fit on a reliable basis. And if I'm going to lose a Cole Palmer, who is 40 GA, 50 GA potential, if I'm going to lose an Estevao, who has the potential to be one of the best wings in the world, if I'm going to lose a Caicedo, who is one of the best DMs in the world, I would need guarantees. And 1 season, what is it, 4 months where he's been fit, isn't a guarantee enough for me to sit there and go, I'll move away from
4 months.
One of the others.
Bro, do you know how long he's been playing? Well, the guy's been fit for almost a year. What are you talking about?
His last injury, he came back from injury in January of last year. So if he makes it to December of this year, end of December this year, injury free, then yes, we've got a calendar year of injury free Reece James. Fantastic. It's only took until 26.
The thing that gets me, is like Reece James is your best right back's best right back. Like, I don't think you understand.
And Cole Palmer's your best 10. Estevao's your best right winger. Cool, Caicedo's your best DM.
Cool. I hear that. Cool. But at the end of the day, when you hear the way people talk about Reece, and I'm talking about European football, people are talking about their hardest games has come against Reece James.
No one's saying he's serious. No, but no one's saying that he isn't skilled. It's about the availability. You have to take a look at his injury record.
Talking about availability, the man's not been having these chronic injury things.
Do you think? Okay, Kwess. Do you honestly think he's not going to have another injury, like a long-term injury again?
Yeah, but any player can get injured at any time. This is the thing.
No, players who have track records of being fit usually stay fit. Players who have track records of being injured usually get injured again. It's just
and some players go through periods of their career where they're more injury prone than like later when they put on a bit more muscle or whatever happens, right? That can happen too. Yeah. What if Palmer develops a chronic hamstring injury in the next 2 years? Then what?
But
you lot are going to be saying the same narratives. You're going to be saying, well, Palmer's not been playing, so clearly he can't show his quality that he has. This is all ridiculous. It's all hypotheticals. It's ridiculous.
Let me just jump in for a second. The viewers here would love to know what you think. Would love to know what you feel in relation to this. Let us know in the comments section below. And look, there's a mixed bag here. Like, as a Chelsea fan, Kwess is absolutely tripping, is what's being said here. Well, at least we're getting the name right. Put the names up on the screen now. I wish to get to do that. So there it is. Reece James is the captain, an important player for Chelsea, though. So this year, obviously, back in what Kwess is saying here. Reece James' influence on the dressing room. It's a fair point as well.
Because he always has to be in the dressing room because he's flipping injured.
Oh, Ash.
Very sad.
Ash.
Talking from there, like, it's crazy.
I know, all the way down there in 14th, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Wherever it is they sit. Like, come on, man. 2 of them on the panel, honestly. You guys can barely get 2 points together, but we've got 2 fans. You know what I mean? It's a madness. RVP was always injured until 28. This is true. This is very, very true indeed. Tom Rattling, Chelsea fans, is what Faz says.
I'm not even trying. I don't think.
We got called out. We've been called out by Deep Seek. Clickbait question. Shake my head. It's not. It's a bit of fun football conversation. It's the word clickbait is well overused these days. Well overused.
How could it be clickbait with? It's not even in the title. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's a curveball. No one even knew it was right. I've got another one now, though. Is
this another curveball?
Yeah, because none of you know it's coming. So it is what it is. Cal, I'm going to you on this one, my friend. So I think you all understand what club it's probably going to be relating to. It would help, though, if I'd have uploaded the image, wouldn't it? That would probably help. So
I can't wait for you to do the United one where I can just say sell them all.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have, because nobody's going to buy them. You got to find a seller. You got to find a buyer, a sell.
You got to remember this now. You got to sell one. There's a gun to your head. Which one, Cal, are you picking? You've got Dowman.
Yeah, the problem is my players are actually good at football, so this is a hard one.
Dowman, Saliba, Rice, or Bukayo Saka. I want this. So that's it. Gun to your head. Out of Saka, Rice, Saliba, and Dalman, which one do you sell?
French Gary Cahill.
It would have to be Saliba.
Sorry. Am I going mental? Is the answer just not Max Dalman?
It's
Yeah,
Max
I
Dalman.
know.
It's Max
It's
Dalman.
not Max- it's not
You
Max
see-
Dalman.
you see- No,
It's
it's
not
Max
Max
Dalman.
It's not.
This is the
It's not.
Sorry.
It's not Max Dalman.
What we do?
It's Saliba.
Explain why it's Saliba, and then we'll go to Tom to say why, and Kwess why it should be Max Dalman. Go on.
Okay, and this is what happens when you're not like part of the club, bro. Like Max Dalman as a talent he is at the club at the moment, probably the most talented in terms of potential player at the club right now.
Brilliant.
In terms of like he is like Dalman is probably our only chance of ever like getting a Ballon d'Or winner. You know, like he is that guy. Like Max Dalman is actually insane. He just is. Sorry. And if it was Gabriel up there, it'd be a much harder question. But Gabriel is our best defender. Gabriel is the leader of our defense. He's the one who takes control of the defense. And if you put in Mascara with Gabriel can, make Mascara play to a very, very high level because of his leadership in there. And obviously Saka is like, we're not getting rid of Saka. So yeah, it has to be Saliba. And to be honest, as an Arsenal fan, Saliba is probably the player that the fan base is the most prepared to sell, because we always thought that, or we always kind of knew at the back of our heads that Madrid's probably going to call for him eventually, and we are, just prepared to deal with that. And when you take a look at Arsenal, our surplus in defense, we have more defenders we have a surplus to requirements in defenders. So we can actually deal with Saliba like leaving the club more than any of the others. And
you can't use that as an excuse.
That's not even.
What?
It's just to me that doesn't even make sense as an argument, because Max Dalman is behind Ethan Nwaneri, Saka, who you've just said you're not getting rid of, and I'm sure someone else, Madueke. So you've got Max Dalman.
You don't sell that talent. You don't sell that talent. Nope, you don't sell it.
But when is that talent?
Good?
When is that talent going to be ready to impact the first team on a consistent basis?
Max Dalman is so good he couldn't even come on for 1 minute against Sunderland. That's how good he is. Let's just
Max Dalman's literally like, what is he, like the youngest like debutant in the Prem like ever?
Right.
Like the dude's he's not even like 16 yet.
Right.
Like he's coming. And by the way, Ash, you should know about Max Dalman because of what he did to your team in preseason. Like,
yeah, I
fucking dropped you guys.
I also know what Gabriel did to us.
Like, I don't understand.
Sorry. I've just heard that we need to loot. You're happy to sell one of the best young defenders on the planet because Max Dalman did well against Newcastle in preseason.
Like Max Dalman in terms of a talent, you don't get rid of him.
Bear in mind, we didn't win a single game in preseason, so you're using that as a level that we're up against. We didn't win a single game.
The fact is, Cal, I understand that you believe Max Dalman is the supreme talent. I get that. I am looking at this from an Arsenal perspective. You are in win now mode. You have a team that is ready to win now. So I am not going to sell one of my best defenders, my best midfielder, or my best winger for a talent who I don't believe will be ready to impact this starting 11 for the next 3 years.
Okay, so let's get in the time machine, though. Let's get in the time machine, right? And I need to do this here. So I just want to test your theory, right, with some Arsenal fans. I've watched Max Dalman play. You can see that he's a tremendous talent. Arsenal say he's probably the most talented. If I get this wrong, Cal or any Gooners watching, let me know. It's said that he's arguably the most talented player to ever come through their academy in their history. 15 years of age, getting these appearances is kind of crazy. So if we went back 23 years, so that would be 2002. We know what we know now. And you said to Barcelona, you can either sell Messi, who's 15, or sell Ronaldinho. What would have been the right choice for Barcelona?
They would have told you, well, the panel would tell me to sell Ronaldinho, or sell Messi, because he hasn't proven anything.
I think what he's fishing for is the logical answer is you sell Messi because it's potential, and you keep a world great in Ronaldinho without the. But obviously, you ask them that today, it's obviously regret because of what Messi's gone on to achieve. But this goes back to what we were saying what Terry was saying about Esteval. You've got all this potential right now, but potential is only gets you so far. When we're talking about if we're going to compare him to the other three players we've got had in the thing, you've got Saka, who is currently ahead of him, and Arsenal fans, I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, Cal, would probably put him above Max Dowman. You then got Saliba, who I think not even a year ago, people were saying he's up there with Van Dijk and all this sort of thing. Better than Gabriel, better than one of the best defenders in the world. And Rice, who everyone's saying is probably the best midfielder in the world for Arsenal fans. So to say you would sell one of those three potential world-class players for Max Dowman,
you see, this is the problem. This is the problem here. I never said I would sell Rice. I never said I'd sell Saka. I said I would sell Saliba. That's the problem here.
You're saying you would sell.
You said you would never sell Saka.
I'm not going to sell Saka.
In terms of your pecking order, so like in order of sales, right? The gun's there, and I don't decide to move it. You got to keep selling, right? I've changed the rules of engagement. So you go Saliba first. Who'd be the next person on your list, Cal? You would sell as a
the next person would have to be Max.
Okay,
and then
ooh.
I mean, you literally said Saka is never getting sold. So
no, but I'm just
You should sell Saka next.
Declan Rice has been imperious for us, and to be honest, I don't know how we play without him.
Yeah.
If it was just for like if
but you've got Zuberman.
Like I think for this season we can deal with like say if each player had like a season-ending injury, I think we could probably deal with a Saka season ending more than we can deal with the Rice. Yeah.
Right, who would go there?
Dowman.
I think the midfield.
I think shouldn't sell him, guys. You shouldn't sell him just in case.
Yeah, because Nani's already out.
Can I just say though, Leila, about this? The thing that gets me about this is we're first of all not going to skip over the fact that he said he's their closest chance to winning a Ballon d'Or. When I said Esteval has a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract. These people were frying me online like I was tilapia.
I never fried you.
That's insanity. And also for me, this is the point I was making about the Dowman. When you say Dowman, Esteval, and thinking about potential, right? That's why I said Cole Palmer, because Cole Palmer is.
I never even.
He's the realization.
I never said. That's why I said Reece James, not Esteval.
But when Man City sold Palmer, people are like, "What are they doing?" But there's no guarantee. So you'd obviously go and sell. But the point is, long term, you can actually probably deal with, in Chelsea sense, you can probably deal with the fact that you might lose one, but you might grow one. So if you don't want to spend the money, you can bring it. That's why I'm like, for me, you don't sell. In that situation, because Dowman's not got the same ceiling of talent as your Palmer, Esteval, or any of these other players. Like, I don't even remember the last English winger outside of like Sterling or Grealish, really, that was world class. I don't like.
The thing with Max is like when I see the club, when I'm seeing like when you're, none of you guys are Arsenal fans, right? But like you're seeing things for the club that's just unprecedented that you've never seen before. Like he's playing for the under-21s, he's scored the most, and he's the youngest scorer for the under-21s. He's coming into the first team and actually making an impact on games, winning penalties and stuff like that. As a 15-year-old, it's actually insane. And for me personally, you don't become great by not taking any sort of risk. Like you can't just like hold on to your pearls and just get rid of all your talent.
The thing with these questions, and what I'm loving, because people say, Terry, you said you'd sell Esteval, but you wouldn't sell Dowman. I didn't give my answer. First of all, I played host and gave an example. It's just no Chelsea fan or no one on the panel gave the example. You could sell Esteval because it's the most logical view in your mind. But you might fast forward 3 years. So if Reece James would be the guy you sell, because he might get injured in 2 to 3 years' time, you also might pick Esteval because there's no guarantees that he's brilliant. But you might sell him, and then he goes on to be the best football player in the world for a decade, and he's gone, and you'd have won far more in the next 10 years if you'd have kept him. These are almost kind of paradoxical, impossible questions to answer, because there is logic to all the answers, but there's a downside to all the answers, and I think that's what makes it fun. So I'm saying to a few people in the comment section, don't get yourselves like don't get hell bent on trying to. There is no right answer. 1, there is no gun. 2, it's hypothetical, and 3, it's a bit of fun. So have some fun. So some of you are getting a little bit lemon in the comment sections. So chill out a little bit here. But what I find interesting was watching the difference between Esteval and Dalman, just from a Chelsea fan perspective, and Cal, where Cal's this kid, and most Gooners I see talk about Dalman. They are just, this kid is going to be something Rooney level special, if that makes sense. I do hear a lot of praise for Esteval, but I didn't see it in that question, which I thought was a little telling, maybe.
Wait, as in from me?
Well, you and a lot of people in the comments, it wasn't like, some people said, a few comments said Esteval, like, you can't get rid of him, he's going to be absolutely top class, he's going to be absolutely world class, but it wasn't in the same way I saw the Gooners go for Dalman, where they were like, absolutely no chance he can go. So it's interesting, just reactions.
The only reason that I'm like, because I don't feel like I need to defend Esteval, right? Because because it's not like we produced this kid from our academy and we just think he's gonna be sick. This is a guy that's played like 100 or something games in like the Brazilian league. Like at 16, 17 years old, Palmeiras were playing, they were pursuing titles, and he was in that team under that pressure, and he was one of their main contributors. So it's, for me, it's a different kind of, it's not even a diss to Dalman. It's just like they're not in the same situation at all. Dalman's in a squad where he's got 2 or 3 senior players already ahead of him that basically he can sort of take his time to become that good. And if it doesn't work out, cool. No one's really going to be mad at him. If it does, cool, sick, all right.
Yeah.
But with Esteval, it's so different.
Sorry. Do you know, I think it is to me as well. Sorry, Thomas. I want to say very quickly as well. So someone here says Terry is because Arsenal fans never overhype their players, do they? That's a really fair point. But do you know what it is for me? If it was Man United, when it's come from my academy and they're special, there's something about that I just, as much as I loved getting Rooney and Ronaldo at 18 and developing them, it didn't feel the same as, by the way, both better than Rashford. But when Rashford comes through the academy and scores, when Garnacho comes out of the academy and starts scoring, it, for me, just what I love about my club is that it is a different feeling to buying a young player as well. I do think there is I agree. You think about John Terry and stuff. It has a different feeling to young players you buy, I think.
Right. So I agree. And my question to follow up on that then would be, everyone else on the panel, who else agrees with Terry?
About having a homegrown
about what
talent.
he just said about having your homegrown talent, so it means more. Cool.
100%.
So just by that logic, why the hell would you ever ask me to sell James? You absolute disingenuous chocolate bars. I'm on every single one of them.
Because Kwess, the
disrespectful.
Because Kwess said his statement was about scoring and playing, and Reece James, as I've shown with his injury history, isn't on the pitch enough to play. For me to have positive feelings. I've seen
Reece James lock up Sterling in the Champions League final. I don't need him to score a goal. What are you talking about?
I said playing, mate. I said
what do you
playing.
mean living off the past? Ash, I'm going to cook you today, you know. You've never even seen your team in the European final. What are you going on about?
Hey, where are we in the Champions League right now?
You're going to get it from me today, you know. You're going to get it from me today.
Kwess
You're going to get it from me today.
I think you're wrong, actually. I think they might have had a playoff final in Cardiff. Does that count? I don't know.
Don't you try it
right now. Hey, listen, we're still above you in the Champions League right now.
Whatever. We're above you in
the league. That's
am I wrong?
But yeah.
Facts.
Bro.
The thing is though, right? None of us were born the last times our clubs got relegated. Where Newcastle, I was a grown man with children when you last got relegated. Let's not mess about. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna start doing that. Let's do some comments here. There's a lot of comments from the audience here. It says, if Esteval is so good, why is he not starting every week like Lamine Yamal? Esteval will end up like Rodrigo, overrated, and might end up like Roque or Fatty.
I mean, the problem I have with that, though.
Yeah, go on, Tom. Tell him.
I mean, the problem I have with that, though, is the Rodrigo thing. Look who's in front of him at Madrid. Who's Esteval's competition? Do I think Esteval is going to be kept on the bench for 4 years behind Pedro Neto? No, he's already better than Pedro Neto. This is just how you manage a young player.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to take.
If anything, Robert, we can see that Barca have mismanaged Lamine Yamal, which is why he's now got a chronic career injury with his groin.
That's a good
It's
point.
the same-
Play these youngsters too much,
Did
otherwise
he get that playing football, or did he get it another way?
he's got it as a result of what he's got playing football, should we say?
Okay.
Allegedly.
He was playing ball.
Playing ball. This here says youngest ever to play in the is that meant to be European Champions League? Or
I
it
think
can't be the
it's
League Cup.
Champions League.
Yeah, no, because it went with E. I thought he meant EFL Cup for a second, and it threw my dyslexia. 15 not looking out of place. I agree, but he's also said here, Goon for Life has said Rice is my guy, but sorry, they'd sell Rice.
I can kind of
first?
see the logic
Nah,
in terms
I'll
of like
midfield.
return on value.
I'll midfield with-
Rice is Arsenal's version of Caicedo in terms of untouchable. Their midfield don't function well without him.
Yeah, it just. To
Your
be honest, I don't
midfield
know what
don't
we
function
do
well
without him.
Caicedo. They don't function
He's
well
one of
without
the.
Rice.
He's one of the few players on the pitch where it's like we literally don't have an answer if he goes down. There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that. You know, I love Saka, but I can at least put something on the right wing to get by. Like if Rice goes down, I literally have nothing. There's literally nothing I can do.
We're doing, if Rice goes down, I do Marino and centre mid, and he's not
Dude,
centre
and
mid. You need him up front.
That's just not
like,
We have another one. We have another one here. This is from Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. It says Saka is finished. Easy sell good players, but he is done.
Okay, you're obviously a clown like your profile. So
No, he's right. You should sell Saka to Newcastle. He's done. He's
If he's going to go to any team in the North East, it's going to be the team in the title race, Sunderland.
Hold on a minute. Are you really saying you take Bukayo Saka over Josh Murphy or Jacob Murphy?
Wow,
I was thinking the same thing, Tom.
Hey, Josh Murphy's done well at Portsmouth.
I
was just thinking.
I did swap for Anthony Elanga though.
Listen, it's fine. We're just swapping one Newcastle fan for another Newcastle fan. It's totally fine.
Do you know what though? Right? Obviously, I don't want Liverpool or City to win the league, and so I don't think anyone else can do it. So I'm like, go on Arsenal. But do you know one thing I'd love to see happen is Sunderland win it. Right? Think of the story. Think of the story.
Who called him a goat before? Because they're lying. This guy's an absolute squash.
But you see that reaction? Right, you guys see that reaction is exactly why. Can you imagine? Everyone who doesn't win it a big guy, but can you imagine the story? Relegated to like the third tier of the English game, almost bankrupt, right? Versus a team that got taken over by people worth trillions and trillions. And can you imagine if Sunderland won the league before Newcastle? It would be one of the most beautiful and the most amazing moments in the history of football period ever. The story
I would just delete internet and everything. Like I would just go off the grid for the rest of my life.
It would be great. A few people saying, Terry, do you really think that will happen?
Yes, he does. He put 100 quid on it before stream.
Listen, people, just I don't know how to respond to that, man. Please
Don't explain. They get you doing this every stream, bro.
Oh no, yeah, I've got to pull back. It's me. I've got to pull out of that. Pause. Logically, it's Dowman doesn't have a pro deal yet, is what DJ Polar says.
Working on that.
My point with Dowman is he could have this well-being potential. He could. I haven't watched enough. I don't watch Arsenal youth games I would like, so I have no idea if he is as good as everyone says. But apparently, he's this good. But my point is, you're looking at Saliba, Rice, and Saka in an Arsenal team that is in a win now mode. They have to win big trophies now. When do I think Dowman is going to be ready to start consistently for that team and contribute to that level? It won't be for at least 3 years. It won't be for at least 3 years.
Fortunately for me, Arsenal isn't going to get that much snapped if we don't win the league this season. I just want Arteta to go.
If you don't win the league this year, it will be chaos.
It will be, but I'm still not sacrificing one of the best talents that my club has ever seen.
But you're not sacrificing him for one league. My point is, you're not sacrificing him for one league. I'm not doing it as you sell Max Dowman now, and I give you one league title. I'm saying Max Dowman is realistically not in a position to impact your teams to the level of a Saliba, a Rice, or a Saka for an absolute minimum 3 years. Arsenal have to maximise what this squad has for the next 3 to 5 years, because that you've got players moving into their prime years now. Max Dowman's period where he's going to be this ready-made superstar is after this. So I don't feel, if if Arsenal want to maximise what they can do with this squad, it doesn't make sense to take out one of the key assets for a player who isn't going to be ready for at least 3 years.
I mean, and that's your opinion, but at the end of the day, I'm just not going to.
The thing is, I will say this: some players, like Dauman, has the ability to potentially look better than what he actually is in a system where you predominantly have possession, and it's much easier for players to be able to thrive when you don't have to be running back and doing harder work and stuff. When you end up becoming sort of like a luxury player.
So what you're saying is that you look better in a team as good as Arsenal than you would playing for Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic logic. Well done. I mean, absolutely.
But he does play for Arsenal though. But
exactly. So he has it's much easier for him to be able to have his quality shown instead of like being exposed in other areas because but that's great. But that's not going to last like that, though, is it? Like,
why wouldn't it last like that?
Because Arsenal flipping is not always been like that. Otherwise, you would have been like that for the last 100 years, but you're not. You've been flipping shite.
Hang on a minute.
The thing is, but we've created a platform for the last bloody 5 years, so players like Darman can actually.
Sorry. Did a Newcastle fan just say Arsenal have been shit for the last 100 years?
That was the best bit. That was the best bit
in 70 years.
Before he answers, can we please re-clarify that statement? Can you not just say a Newcastle fan? Can you say, did Ash the Newcastle fan? Let's be very specific when we're saying this, because this is
disowning him.
This is very different, right?
I just no, it's because right. I don't see years going back and years going forward, Arsenal be able to keep up like 60% plus possession, like how Man City did.
Hang on,
because it's just not sustainable.
Hang on, Ash. Sorry to do this, right? I'm sorry. When you say, are you saying Arsenal never did that for like 2 decades under Wenger?
That was like Arsenal's entire thing.
That was their thing.
Like I said, please.
But I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, they're not going to be
crazy, man. Newcastle fans are crazy. These Newcastle fans are crazy.
We won a trophy. Eddie Howe.
Let's put them together.
Oh, not
They come in twos. They come in twos.
Stop talking.
Oh my word!
You know when you say people have agendas.
I love the Ash is like this now. He's got his trophy, so anytime he's losing the debate, he's now sitting there going, "I won a trophy, though."
Hey, listen, people say you got to put trophies into it, and what happened? We've got a trophy now, so we can. We've got. Hey, listen, a track record. We're clearly better than Eddie Howe's better than Arteta.
What?
Right. I think what this really.
I am not even joking. I genuinely stand by that.
Stop talking.
No. That's not even me joking. I genuinely believe that.
Bro, that's crazy, Ash, man. That's crazy, bro.
Right. Unless
Kane, I can't believe your fan base is like this. I can't. You must agree with this.
Right. So do you think that Eddie Howe with this Arsenal squad would be worse?
I think Eddie Howe would be worse. I actually do.
You literally.
I actually do.
Oi, just now. Ash, you literally tell me that your midfield is better than our midfield, and your attackers are so great, and your defenders are so great, and you're bloody, 8th? Like, wait, they're 14th.
14th.
Like, that's obviously Eddie Howe underachieving, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, you pick up your players, you tell me that your players are on Arsenal's players' levels every day, but then you come and despite you underachieving this season, you're telling me that Eddie Howe's better than Arteta. How does that make sense?
No, because what you're doing is you're taking away things like we don't have Saka in our squad. Like we don't. I think Gabriel Saliba partnership is better than our defensive partnership. Like, so yes, I think there's an argument.
So you think Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka is with like 13 places in the league?
No, but at the end of the day, well, I mean, maybe to be fair with the defense, potentially is the whole reason why you said you guys are where you are is because of your defensiveness, not about you being out and scoring every single goal.
But the reason why we are really good in defense is because that's how Arteta sets up the squad, because he's a decent man, he's a decent coach, he's a decent manager. The reason why you're 14th is because Eddie Howe's underachieving. It's either Eddie Howe's underachieving,
He didn't have a striker.
Or it's either Eddie Howe's underachieving.
How am I sitting here?
Just do this.
How am I sitting here after a Max Diamond debate watching Newcastle beef with Arsenal? Like, whose manager's better?
Right.
It's
just do this, man. Just say it with me, bro.
Listen,
My bad.
what Eddie Howe has done in for Bournemouth, while flipping Arteta was picking up cones for Pep Guardiola.
Oh,
Dude, you really believe?
Listen, man, we've got a very it's the Ant and Deck. We've got Ash and Kay here representing Newcastle brilliantly down there on the bottom. I tell you, man. I tell you.
And by the way, I saw a comment earlier that said about us wanting Eddie Howe out. Flipping absolutely not. Keep that man in here for the next 10 years. I don't want him gone anywhere.
Fair enough.
Really? Dude.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's for another day, gents. This year says so a Carabao Cup makes Eddie Howe better than Arteta, who won the FA Cup.
Bear in mind, that was in the very first season.
Count at that point, Eddie Howe beat Arteta twice in that Carabao Cup.
Away and at home.
I mean,
he
we've
gave
lost
you-
to Fulham before.
This was actually to back Cow earlier. He said he gave an answer and told nobody says he's crazy. Now he's telling everyone else they're wrong. I think he was talking about you, Tom, actually. I think he was chatting about you. Big up, Terry. Hope you are well. Like up the chat. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that a lot. This was earlier about Slot. It says Slot deserves credit, but took over a team who won the Premier League and the Champions League. 85 to 90% of that team, let's be real.
Arne Slot took over a team that was 6 years removed from winning the Champions League and had, if I remember correctly, 4 players from that start 11 still in the squad. He didn't take that team. It's not like Jurgen Klopp had won the Champions League the year before and Arne Slot just inherited the team with the cup.
Yeah, there was all like Bobby Firmino and Mane and all that, weren't they? They were gone.
Zane here says, I think the biggest faults of the ball, this is about Liverpool, this goes back to there, like 50-60% to blame. How can you have 5 or 6 player turnover, most of them in the 11, and expect to compete when it was the last time a team won with 5-player turnover?
It's a fair. I feel we were a bit forced, but it's a fair point.
Keep that energy for other squads, though.
I would argue, I don't know if we won the league the year before. I can't remember. When Man United won it with the kids, I swear we won it the year before, and then we got rid of like some of the experience. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
What was Man City's summer like in 17-18? How many players did they get to in 17-18? Because he revamped his entire defense that year.
Sure. It doesn't happen a lot, though. Is the point there? Maybe once or twice it's happened, but not very often. Final fiction or fact question of the night. I was England obviously kicking off soon. Everyone's going to want to go and watch that. But I want to end it with what one do I do? I'm gonna kind of end it with we were kind of on Arsenal. We'll touch on the Man United stuff on another day on the show just because of that. Actually, no, we've done a lot of that. We will do the Man United one before the end, and that is fact or fiction. Cal signing João Gomes from Wolves on loan would be a smart bit of business for United and could boost their chances of a Champions League spot.
To be honest with you, I don't know that much about. I know he plays for Wolves, but I don't think.
That was part of the question, mate.
yeah. But I don't watch him. I don't watch him week on week, and I don't think Manchester United are just one striker away from
He's a midfielder.
He's a midfielder. So I don't know much about him. Is he so? I'm not really prepared to answer this.
Questions. I went on to Data MB because I know who he is and I quite like him as a player.
Yeah.
But do you know what this link kind of did to me? It's sometimes there's players that actually do a lot of good things, and because the media don't talk about them, and because none of us watch all of Wolves' games only when they play ourselves, and they're not a very good team. This is him, for instance, compared this season to Casemiro, who's actually playing quite well. But the two things that Casemiro doesn't do very well is his forward pass completion is quite low, and he can't carry the ball because he's got no legs. And in a really bad Wolves team, it isn't too bad. When you actually compare him, again, if you look at it from a numbers perspective and compare him against Elliot Anderson's, Beliebers, and a lot of these guys getting praised, he's in and around the same ballpark. Okay. I quite like him personally, part of me sort of looks at it and thinks, again, if those numbers actually rack up to be true in the sense of if he can win the ball back that regularly, if he can carry the ball better for us, it could improve it. But I thought it was one of those weird left field transfers where you go.
I mean, how are you getting him on loan?
Sorry?
How are you getting him on loan? That's the part that's throwing me.
Oh, I'm only going by the source is a pretty credible Man United source, to be fair. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting one.
Like Wolves have no good. The only good players Wolves have are their two midfield pivots in João Gomes and Andre.
It must be with the option to buy, no? Like,
yeah,
I'm assuming they think they're going.
I don't see why Wolves would get rid of him in the January. Like, if they get rid of him, they're fucked.
The thing is, I think they'll look at it this way. By the time you get to January, if they're rock bottom with record low points, I don't think it matters what they do. What they might actually start doing is planning for next season in the Championship. You know, they get a loan of someone like him in, and it gives them a guarantee. Because if they get relegated, whatever they think they're going to get from transfer-wise is going to be lowered because he goes down. So maybe there's a train of thought of maybe we could get a little bit more money by loaning him first and everything else. But I just want to know one takes. He's one of those players that everyone knows who he is. But is that the kind of individual you think could help elevate United's midfield?
Yeah, I think he's definitely an improvement, but I did like a little list of like of sort of five, and I had him fifth that I would have had say before him, like Belieber, Wharton, Conor Gallagher. I would the likes of him.
I wouldn't have Conor Gallagher as them.
Hey, listen, he's a Rottweiler. He's a Rottweiler midfield.
Yes,
that's what they call it in Atletico Madrid.
That's not what
Manchester
United need, though. Manchester United do not need a Rottweiler. They need someone with positional discipline.
But but that's what I'm saying. So I had Conor Gallagher fourth and João Gomes fifth, and then obviously Elliot Anderson. But I mean, there's the definite three they would look before is Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, he's definitely a tier below.
I hope they don't get Elliot Anderson because I want him back. But I think there's the problem is if Man United gets João Gomes, it'll be for a good price, which is the thing that could be what is actually a very good deal about it, because otherwise they're going to have to splash the cash quite a bit, I think, on others apart from Conor Gallagher. But I think Wharton, Belieber, and Anderson is going to be all around 100 million asking for. So you'll be saving over half the price.
Feels like a strange deal, man.
Do you know what? But do you know what? Kwess, I don't even disagree. It wouldn't be one that I'd have sat there and gone yes to. But then I do think as football fans, look, we're not scouts, but actually it's when you start reading the scouting reports, you read the things he's good at, you start going, maybe I haven't noticed that in the Wolves. You know the point that Ash made earlier? Sometimes if you're a talent and you're in a really good team, your talent shines through. Sometimes you're a talent in a really bad team and people just don't notice. You notice goal scorers. You notice the flair players in attack because they're dribbling past people. But part of me thinks, again, if we can't get... Because I don't think Forest owner are not letting Anderson go in the January, especially if they're still in Europe. But I don't think Brighton will let Belieber go as an example. And actually, if you start looking at them as a collective there, so you've got Conor Gallagher's in red. You know, the defensive side of it isn't really where you want it, and the duels isn't very good. And the progressive passes is low, but he does create a lot of opportunities, good pass rate forward. You've got Belieber in green, who's just having, by his level, a really poor standard. He is in for forward pass completion rate. He's in the bottom 7 percentile across the entirety of Europe this season. Even things like his ball winning and duels, it's up there, but it isn't like last year when it was much better than everybody else. You've got in blue is João Gomes, and the one guy that stands out above all of them in yellow is Elliot Anderson, because he's just doing everything. The guy is literally doing everything. The issue is, and this is why I like the look of this deal, is I don't know if those other three, I don't really want Conor Gallagher, but I don't know if those other guys were available in January. And if you could get a loan with an option to buy, he might shine, he might not. But that's why I looked at it and thought that could be some quite clever business. And I'm going based on the bits I've seen. But again, numbers-wise, he seems to be delivering. We know he plays in the Prem, so you've not got to worry too much about acclimatization to a new country. He gets to leave Birmingham. Sorry, KJ, but Manchester's nicer. But I don't know. It's one of those. And Kwess, what I would say as a United fan, it's like it's a bit left field. And there's things with our own club. We all have things about our club that we like. We used to do this semi-regularly in our pomp. We'd sign something or a player nobody expected. It was a little bit left field. It was a little bit, I weren't seeing that one coming. And it quite often yielded some fruit. And I sort of like it because it's not, I feel like what we got wrong in the last decade is nearly every single player we signed was like the obvious choice, if that made sense. It was, of course, United are going to go and get Sancho now because of what he's doing. Where I actually feel like this could do it. But equally, I mean, it could flop massively. It could go wrong. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying, I'm still going. It's the fiction bit of the question for me is chances of a Champions League spot. I don't think we have one. I don't think we make the Champions League this year, irrespective of what we do. If the question was, if we sign Belieber and Anderson in January, could we make the Champions League? Yes, maybe. But no, I would still say fiction to the actual question, but there's something about this deal that I quite like, and I can't quite put my finger on what.
But if you go,
it's the fact it's what you need. It's the fact it's what you need. That's what you like. You're sitting there going, he fixed the problems that we've got. He's a very good midfielder. He's the tier below the options that you mentioned, the Andersons. You believe, although he's not performed this year, you believe he's like a tier 2 compared to them. But I still think he's very impressive as a midfielder. And when you look at what United's midfield needs, a guy who's going to cover, who's got the legs mainly to cover when Fernandes tries to be a bit more expansive and a bit more, forward thinking, and then Casemiro kind of left in an island on his own, which he can't cover. João Gomes is that's kind of his bread and butter. That's what he can sweep up with, and I think just frees up a lot of the creative players at United to show more of themselves without worrying about what's behind them. So I think that at times with United, certain players go, I want to do more, but if I do it and we give it away, they're running at us and we can't handle that, so I'm going to rein it in.
Because I was just going to say the only thing that I've the only 2 times I've seen him play was obviously when we played Chelsea, and I just remember the one moment I remember of seeing him was the thoughts running through my head was, oh, he must be like their new Brazilian player because they get 1 or 2 every season, right? And then the other thing was, I remember we were on the break, and I think it was Delap, and he just cleaned him out, and it was such an unnecessary challenge. I remember just thinking, like, why did he do that? But then in my head, I'm going, all right, look, you're like 23, 24. I'm not going to get on you because you make these decisions when you're young. The only thing that I can imagine about this deal is that it must just be making such financial sense. In the respect of Wolves are clearly accepting that they're going down. You don't go for Rob Edwards, who was at Middlesbrough. I think he come from Middlesbrough, I think, right? You don't go for him if you're not expecting you're going to go down to the Championship and you want someone who's done that washing machine before. You're preparing to go down and be in the thick of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. They must obviously be projecting, right? If this is a player, perhaps he's got a clause in his contract, say if we go down, he leaves for like a really low fee. Makes sense to get him out now with a guaranteed, 40, 50, 60 mil that we've got coming in next season. I can understand that. I'm also thinking this must have some implication on the Mainu situation. Because I know that they've been trying to get him out the door. So is this like, we'll bring someone in on loan, get him on a deal where, we can buy him based on certain conditions and we let Mainu go and get his football. Like, to me, this must just be like, yes, he's the best of the next. I mean, he's definitely not an Elliot Anderson. He's definitely not Believer.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Sense. But there is that. Like, will Mainu got pushed for a loan because he wants to get into the England team set up potentially? So that might be we need to bring a body in. So we're doing that. Maybe it's part of a wider midfield restructure. And he might, I always say this to people, just because you're the first through the door doesn't mean you're the priority, because it's the priority players aren't available. But if you potentially had a midfield that in 2 or 3 years, in 2 seasons time was Belieber and Anderson, Bruno, Mainu and João Gomes, then you look at that and go, well, actually as a collective, it's a really solid group of players. Equally, I'm just looking at the numbers and looking at what he does. He does everything that Casemiro does at this age. Casemiro wasn't what he was in his pomp, winning back-to-back Champions League 3 times, but he's just got more legs. And I think now, if you could turn around with a magic wand and go, right, Cass, you're going to be faster, have more stamina, and your passing range is going to improve. Your passing quality is going to improve. You could start making an argument for the best DM in the league. It's that he doesn't have those 2 attributes like others do, and this guy's an improvement. But my view on these kind of deals is my feet's always firmly on the ground if we even get it done. But what I guarantee you start seeing now, this is more my kind of hot take on this, is I guarantee you start seeing the media hype him up a lot more because United are linked to him, and you're going to start seeing the Tactico suddenly notice him. I bet you start seeing things everywhere about João.
Yeah, that's not even a hot take. That's just going to happen.
Yeah, and then suddenly everyone's going, actually, I really like him. I like the look of him. He's one of those players, even in a bad Wolves team, when I watch him play, you notice him, you hear his name, you see him, for me personally. But how much will he improve Man United? The take about Champions League football, I think, is too far for us, to be honest with you. That's just me. Super chat here says, in Arteta's worst season, Newcastle United were not even ahead. That's true. Ash said 3-0. A 3-0 win doesn't count because a DM scored 2 goals. That's also they come in twos. They're coming twos.
Hold on.
Like Bill and Ben.
Wasn't there a game last season in the Carabao Cup where Newcastle won 3-0 and Sandro Tonali scored 2?
That counts as a cup game.
Yeah, it was Brentford.
Does that one not count, Ash?
There we go.
One, I never said his goals didn't count.
Another
said,
player willing to, yeah. Sorry,
you know what? And the thing is, the exact thing that I said came back to be true. I said because your forwards aren't scoring as much, you'll end up getting draws. And what happened? You got a draw against Sunderland because you're not scoring.
Because we conceded, we scored 2 bloody goals. Like, what are you talking
and to be
about?
fair, those 2 goals were Saka and Trossard.
When you said that, they were 5 points off top. They're now 4 points clear at the top.
Stop trying to use your logic, sorry.
No, I'll just say
Surely you have a sound effect for that one, Terry. Come on.
we could use. Oh, I've got a very good one we could use for that.
All I'm saying is, did Zubi Mendy score since?
No, but no one said he was going to become a prolific goal scorer. Yeah, this comment here from Rob. Yeah, still is another player that we're linked to, and I have a feeling United are actually going to do what we did with the attacking line in this next over January and the summer. I think it will be 2 or 3 midfielders. I think I think that's the strategy they're going to go with. It's like, let's try and fix a department one at a time, which will be great. But look, I want to thank you all. Ramsey, you ain't getting stiller. All right, mate, chill out. Oh, Ram, big chest today. Listen, I want to thank all my panel. I want to thank the super chatters. I want to thank our members, everyone who's hit the like button, and of course, all of our viewers. The terrace wouldn't be the terrace without you all. I will be putting out some content after England play Serbia, which is kicking off in a couple of minutes' time. So get yourselves back to us at that point. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank everyone as always, and all the love and support over the last couple of days. It's been a crazy week. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.